Let me take you back to a time when I was struggling financially. I was barely making enough to cover my rent, and the stress was overwhelming. On top of that, my wife was buried in credit card debt, not because of bad choices, but because we were struggling just to pay for groceries and basic bills. It was a difficult place, and it seemed like there was no way out. But then I discovered 3 surprising ways to build wealth, to attract more money into our lives, and they completely changed our reality. Today, I want to share those life-altering methods with you, and I'm excited for you to hear them. Now, before we dive into the most powerful steps, which happens to be number 2, let me say this. The first step is absolutely crucial. You must make a firm decision. Understand that you live in a constantly expanding universe, one that is infinite by nature. Every night, when I look at the stars on Maui, it's like they go on forever. If we had a high-tech rocket ship that could transport us to the furthest reaches of space in 2 minutes, we would still see endless stars, and then more again. The universe is about expansion, not contraction. And here's the exciting part. You are an integral part of this expansive universe. You are one with this endless energy. This means that your birthright, yes, your divine right, is to expand, grow, and prosper. The universe doesn't want you to shrink. He wants you to shoot yourself. In fact, we are living in a time when the global economy is constantly growing. There is so much money circulating in the world that sometimes it even becomes a problem. The financial system continues to print money, so much, in fact, that it is almost flooding the market. But this is a good thing, because it means there is no shortage of resources, and there is no limit to the amount of wealth you can attract. Money is not a zero-sum game. You can't go without it just because others are successful. The more money you have, the more you contribute. You'll be able to hire people, help your family, support your friends, and even give back to charity. When you grow financially, you become a source of good for others. But here's the problem. Many people find themselves at the crossroads of opportunity and simply freeze. They don't believe they can change their financial situation. How many people do you know who think they will always be in debt, whether it's student loans, credit card bills, or anything else? They feel trapped in a cycle, and they don't believe it will get better. I have met many people who truly believe that they will be in this fight forever. But here's the truth. Once you think you're trapped, you're already defeated. You have lost the game before playing. Jim Rohn wisely said, "What's easy to do is easy not to do." The universe wants you to have money. You are built for growth, and that includes your financial growth. The energy of abundance is everywhere around you. Money is energy, like everything else in the universe, and the universe is constantly expanding. Therefore, it is your birthright to experience wealth, success, and all the things you desire in life, not just for comfort, but for the evolution of your soul. So today, I want you to understand this. It is your birthright to be rich. Don't let anyone or anything tell you otherwise. The universe wants you to have money. You are built for growth, and that includes your financial growth. The energy of abundance is everywhere around you. Money is energy, like everything else in the universe. And the universe is constantly expanding. Therefore, it is your birthright to experience wealth, success, and all the things you desire in life, not just for comfort, but for the evolution of your soul. So today, I want you to understand this. It is your birthright to be rich. Don't let anyone or anything tell you otherwise. Your future is unlimited. Claim it. Enter your expansion. Comment below. It's my birthright to be rich. It is your birthright to be rich. Achieve it. Write that below. It is my birthright to be rich. You create it, own it, and affirm that abundance is meant for you. The first step to financial freedom is to recognize that wealth is not a distant dream, but something inherently yours to claim. Let me tell you about a groundbreaking moment that changed everything for me. I used to think the only way to make money was to trade my time for it. I had an income stream at the time, being a motivational speaker, traveling, speaking to thousands of students. He would earn a few $100s an hour, but the income was seasonal, unpredictable, and limited. I quickly realized that relying on one source of income was not sustainable. Rich people, millionaires, billionaires, and financial freedom achievers all have multiple streams of income. Money flows to them in a way that is not directly dependent on their time or effort. That's when I realized the key. The richest people don't work for money. They have systems and investments that generate money for them, even while they sleep. So, I changed my approach. I started to diversify my income. I took a piece of paper, wrote multiple sources of income at the top, and brainstormed facts. I took some time to get into the right mindset, using my successful hypnosis to tap into that creative flow. You can try it too. It's free and linked below. And then, I just let my ideas flow. Some were wild, some were simple, but the key was to think in terms of abundance and scale. The result? It opened up a whole new world of opportunities. An idea may seem small, but it can be the seed for something bigger. The exercise helped me move beyond the mindset of working for a paycheck to thinking about creating systems that make money for me without direct commitment of effort or time. I want you to try this. Take out a piece of paper and write down multiple sources of income. Don't judge your ideas. Let them flow. Even the craziest idea could spark something that leads to your financial breakthrough. It's about expanding your mind to see all the ways wealth can come into your life. The next step is to live as if you have already achieved that financial success. What would you do differently if you were a millionaire? Reading books about finances, investments, and wealth. Would you take actions that reflect your new mindset? Most people say they want money, but they continue to behave exactly as they did before. To truly create wealth, you have to think, act, and live like someone who already has it. So, start acting in alignment with the wealth you want to attract. Be intentional, creative, and open to opportunities. Your birthright is abundance, and by changing your mindset, you open the door to the unlimited possibilities that await you. To truly transform your life, you must be willing to become a different person. So let me ask you, how would your thoughts change if you were that new version of yourself? What kind of books would you read? What programs would you watch? How would you spend your weekends? More importantly, who would you surround yourself with? When you start thinking about who you need to be and change your perspective on life, something powerful happens. Your reality begins to change. As Wayne Dyer once said, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. It's not just about wishful thinking. It's about actively changing your mindset, your habits, and your environment. Let's break it down. I'll tell you what worked for me. I started reading a wealth book every week. Until then, I had never read a single book about money. I was immersed in spirituality, meditation, neuroscience, metaphysics, all these wonderful concepts. But when it came to money, I realized I had no idea. Not surprisingly, my spiritual life flourished, but my financial reality was a disaster. So, I decided to apply the same approach I had in spirituality to building wealth. I started watching YouTube videos about finance and business. I picked up books on money and how to build it. Slowly but surely, I began to challenge my own way of thinking. I started surrounding myself with people who were making things happen financially. What happened next? I began to change, not only my habits, but my entire identity. And as I changed, I began to attract new opportunities into my life that I never imagined were possible. The people I met, the opportunities they presented themselves. It was all a result of me changing my mindset and my approach to life. So here's what I invite you to do. Choose one or two of these strategies and implement them in your life over the next 30 days. You don't have to commit forever. Just give it a try and see how you feel. Don't just sit there and watch videos or read articles and think, this all makes no sense. Instead, suspend your disbelief. Think about it. When you go to the movies, you don't sit there questioning the plot or saying, this is all fake. You suspend your disbelief and allow yourself to immerse yourself in the story. Well, to change your life and your financial situation, you must do the same. Suspend your disbelief about what is possible for you and be open to trying new things. Test the waters. You'll be surprised what you can achieve when you take the first step and trust the process. And here's a bonus tip. All of the richest people in the world have one thing in common. They think differently about money. And the good news is that you can reprogram your mind to think like they do. The tools and resources are right at your fingertips. All you need to do is take action and start changing your perspective. So take the leap, suspend your disbelief, and start changing your life today.